What's going on, guys? You guys asked questions on my last video, so now I'm going to answer them all in this video. So let's just get right into it. Do you ever prepare differently for a final/playoff game? No. I do the exact same thing before every game, and it's pretty much just rest and eat right. But I don't prepare differently for any game, whether it's a practice, friendly, preseason game, or the championship game of the USL. It's all the same. Matt, can you go a bit more in depth about visualization? I heard it can be beneficial. Thanks, and the beard's not looking too bad either. Thank you. So visualization, it's really simple. I pretty much just lie in bed, and when I'm trying to go to sleep, I just think about situations in the game. Like if I have the ball passed out to me on the wing, I imagine myself literally playing the game, taking the touch, taking on a defender down the line, whipping a ball in. I imagine myself guarding people 1v1. I'm just kind of envisioning scenarios in the game that happens a lot. And it doesn't need to be like a crazy, like, scheduled thing. I just kind of do it every night before I go to bed or before a game sometimes, but it just happens. I just am always thinking about the game. Hey Matt, how did you balance academics with training whilst being in college? Training on a daily basis whilst trying to keep up with assignments can sort of drain you eventually and is really stressful at times. I mean, yeah, it's going to be harder whenever you have school and soccer to balance that out. But the thing is, you just got to do it. And you're always smart about what you are doing in your free time, whether it's getting ahead in school or doing an extra workout instead of just lying on the couch and watching TV or taking, an hour-and-a-half nap or browsing Facebook for an hour. I mean, there's always time to do and to fit in everything that you need to do. But it's just a matter of just being efficient with it. Do you mostly do long runs or sprints when it comes to cardio? I think about a soccer game, it's always like a sprint and then it's a recovery jog. Or it's running at a very fast pace and walking while the ball's out of bounds. You're never running straight for 45 minutes of a half. It's always off and on, off and on. So the best way to prepare for that is to do exactly that. So I always do some sort of run or sprint, whether it's for 30 seconds or for the full length of the field or a lap around the track, and I do that as fast as I possibly can, and then I rest. And then I repeat and repeat and repeat, and then overall throughout the course of the off season or the preseason, my goal is to either cut down the rest time or go faster or do more sets. So you're making the workouts harder and harder for you. But I never do a run longer than 2 miles, ever. Would you sign for a team where you are sure you would play all the matches, or sign for a better team or in a higher league, but you're not sure you'll play all the matches for that team? That's a good question, and there's pros and cons to both sides. I mean, sometimes it's better to go with the worst team, so you can get lots of playing time, lots of experience, have a really great highlight tape, do stuff like that, develop your game constantly, be in that leader role. And then at the same time, it's also good to challenge yourself to go up to a higher team and kind of work into that starting lineup and challenge yourself. And I've done both. For example, I've been on the B team and I've had to be in that leadership role. And I've also trained with like Sacramento Republic, where I was just a practice player, and every single day I was just trying to even get a contract. I was like the lowest of the low on the team. And I think both are really good. So it's never like always go for this or always do that. It's really kind of finding and working with what you have and making the best out of either situation that you have. What is your ideal weather to play football? You guys probably know that I hate the cold, I hate the rain, I hate the snow, I hate the sleet, hail, all that stuff. So my ideal weather is definitely like 75 to 80 degrees, sun, beautiful weather, like California stuff, or like a beautiful California night where it's like really warm still at night. I hate playing in the cold. On game day, when suiting up in the locker room or walking out to the field, do you have any pre-game superstitions that you do before every game? Nope. What mindset do you have after you lose a game or perform badly? This is a good question, and pretty much that night I really kind of reflect on why I performed badly or why we lost really bad. I think about like every play in the game, where I messed up, why I messed up, what I should have done instead, try to learn from that. If we have film, I watch the whole game, I watch every time I touch the ball, I analyze every touch, and then the next morning, the next day, I completely forget about it. And I just move on. It's a new day, new training, new whatever. And it's just all about preparing for the next game or preparing for the next training. I don't want a bad performance or a loss to affect how I do in the next training session or the next week. What are your future goals for this channel? So I want to reach 100,000 subscribers this year. That's a big goal of mine. I want to continue just growing it as big as possible while also providing like really engaging content that you like to watch, that you learn a lot from, that's not ever annoying or clickbaity or just like something that you don't enjoy. I want to continue to kind of get better editing, get better content, better video, and I just want to keep pushing my limits, like creatively and also just with soccer and training, and just keep making the videos better and better. Is there a massive difference between college level and pro level? Also, can you go through some of the advantages? So public and private universities are exactly the same when it comes to soccer. I mean, there's no difference in between them at all. There's no difference of going pro or getting drafted, all that stuff. It's just one's run by the state and one's run privately. As the difference between college and the pro level, it's the speed of play. The athletes in general are not, they might be a little bit faster, a little bit stronger, but the main difference is just how fast people play. In college, you can receive the ball, you have a lot of time, or more time than you do in the pro level. You can dribble more, it's not as fast. In pros, it's like boom, boom, boom. If you aren't taking 2 touches and getting rid of the ball, you're gonna get cracked in practice or in games. It's like you have to always be thinking 1 or 2 steps ahead. And as you go higher and higher and higher up in the professional game or any level, you just have to continually playing faster and faster. So when that ball's coming to you, you already know I'm gonna pass it right to my center mid that's checking, and then I'm gonna sprint down the line. Versus when you're kind of lower level, you get the ball, then you look up and go, where am I gonna go next? All right, quick change of plans. I gotta take that idiot to the bank, so I'll just continue it when I get to the bank. All right, where's this next question? What weightlifting program / schedule are you on now? So right now I'm not on any like program or set schedule, because when I'm in season or preseason right now, it's always just listening to your body. So if I have a hard week of training or I'm really sore from a game or something, I don't always want to have a schedule that I have to follow. I always plan what I'm going to do in the gym like the day of, depending 100% on how I'm feeling. So if I'm feeling tight, sore, or if I'm feeling anytime it might be too much to do like a full weightlifting thing, I might just go in, do some really light stuff and stretch. If I'm feeling really good and my body's feeling fit and healthy, I might go a little bit heavier and try to push myself a little bit more, especially if the game isn't for like 5-6 days. So it all depends on like exactly how I'm feeling at that moment. So I kind of freestyle it. Oh. How are the expectations versus the reality of being a professional footballer different? So when I was younger, I kind of just thought it would be carefree, like fun every single day, almost like a training when you're younger, and there's not that much pressure. So kind of go out there, enjoy it, have fun, and get better. But as you get higher and higher up, and as you get on bigger and bigger teams, and then you go into the professional world, there's more and more pressure on you, and it's kind of stressful at times, because you have to perform for the team, you have to perform for the club. There's fans and hundreds of people that like this is their team, and they invest a lot of energy or money or time into this team. And if it doesn't perform, or if you're not performing, it reflects badly on a lot of different people. So it's not just carefree all the time. I think it's a lot more pressure than I expected, but at the same time, it's almost everything that I expected, because I think it's the best job in the world. I'm very used to playing 7-a-side, futsal, and tight area stuff, but when it comes to 11-a-side, I'm kind of lost. Any advice? So my number one advice is to talk to a coach or talk to somebody has a lot of soccer experience, and try to ask them exactly what movements that you should be making in the games, or ask them like what you should be doing when certain scenarios happen that you feel lost in. And if you don't have a mentor or a coach or somebody like that, then my advice is to watch professional games. Watch EPL games, Champions League, La Liga, whatever you can, even MLS. Watch a game and just focus on somebody in your position. For example, I'm a right back, so I would just watch a right back in the MLS, and I would watch him when he pinches in, when he goes out, when he passes the ball quickly, when he dribbles, when he does a long ball, and I try to analyze why he's doing that. So I'm always looking at the game and then trying to learn from that, and learn movements or passes or decision making from that. See you, bro. Thank you. Bye, bro. Is it over for overweight people who love football? So first off, look into the professional game and look at how many overweight soccer players you see. It's very, very rare to see a guy with a big belly out there playing professional soccer. And if he is out there, he's usually at the very end of his career, or he's just amazing at something else. But 99% of professional footballers are pretty lean. Having said that, just change the fact that you are overweight. Adopt a healthier lifestyle. Start eating healthier foods. Start working out. Increase your cardio. Really start doing steps to get to a healthier body weight. And within a year, even if you're 50 pounds overweight, you can get down to having a six-pack if you're eating right, if you're working out right, and if you're just doing everything right. As an athlete who has to go to school, what lunch would be good to bring since I can't actually cook something? I definitely suggest just hopping on Google and just searching healthy foods to bring into school for a school lunch, and you'll find tons of stuff, because this question has definitely been asked by hundreds or millions probably of other kids. But I'll just give you an example of what I brought to school when I was younger, and it was literally just like a lunch meat sandwich. I had like turkey breast or chicken breast with like avocados, tomatoes, a little bit light mayo, some lettuce, and then some wheat bread. And I had like that sandwich. I brought a ton of fruit like apples, bananas, oranges, grapes, pineapple, a whole bunch of fruit. I brought like rice cakes, brought like pretzels, stuff like that. I even kind of cheated sometimes. I brought some chips or a cookie or something. So just do some research and you'll find tons of healthy alternatives to bring to school. But yeah, I just kept it simple. I record my soccer games with a GoPro and it's really wide viewed. Do you think I should buy a new camera? GoPros are great. I'm even recording this right now on a GoPro on like the medium setting, but even on the narrow, they're just not good at doing long distance stuff, especially if you want to see good details like a soccer game. I would never record my game with the GoPro just because it's just not the right camera for that. It's a wide angle lens meant for wide action sports stuff right up close to the action. What I did when I was in high school is I just got like an HD camcorder with like the flip out screen, and I had my mom get a tripod. She sat up there and recorded all my games. It's like $200. I saved up for it, and that's the best thing to record your games if you don't have like a professional cameraman. Do you think team training provides more than individual training? So team training and individual training, I consider it as two completely separate yet necessary training tools for soccer. You need your team training because you need to learn how to play in a team. You need to learn off-ball movements. You need to learn defending a player. You need to learn what it's like to be defended. You need to learn how to play tiki-taka or hit a long ball, and doing just basic team play stuff that can only be done in team training. Having said that, you also need to work on your individual skills. A lot of times if you only have like 2 club practices a week, the coach is going to do what he thinks is best for the team and not necessarily what's best for you at developing as a player. And it's no like fault for his. He only has you for 2 practices a week. So you need to incorporate like individual training somewhere so you can start working on your dribbling, your passing, your first touch, your shooting, stuff that you don't really focus on most likely in your team training sessions. That way, when you combine team training and your individual training, you really can combine both aspects of the game and become like a really complete player. I've been doing both individual training and team training since I was 5 years old. I went out with my dad and we worked on my long kicks, my power shots, passing, just simple dribbling stuff. And then in the team training, it was more like, let's play. Let's do some like game realistic stuff now. What is your favorite lifting day? Arms, abs, back, etc. Or what's your favorite football day? Passing, shooting, etc. I think chest is always super fun because it's always really fun to bench press, and I just get like a really good like pump, and I think it's really cool. But I also love going heavy and doing heavy squats. I think that's like one of my favorite things. Even though it's exhausting and it sucks, you just feel like you're so accomplished after it because it's just such a hard workout, especially when you're going heavy. In terms of like a football day, I would say passing, just because it's just so much fun to really focus on the different types of passing, you know, inside the foot, working on the first touch, going around cones, first touch into a direction, doing long balls, crosses, pinged in balls, like hovering over the ground. There's just so much you can do with it, and it's like really overlooked, but it's just a huge part of the game. What is the best thing of being a pro? The advantages that you get from soccer to your life. It's gonna be corny, but the best thing I think is just continuing to do what you love and get paid for it. Not many people can say that they play their favorite sport as their job. And it's very awesome that I get to go out every single day, train, practice, play games, and then make money doing that. How often should I train a week? I get this question like 5 times a day, whether it's comments, emails, or whatever. And honestly, I cannot tell you how much to train a week. My advice is to train and work out and do as much as you possibly can while listening to your body. And I think I've said this like 1,000 times. But honestly, if your body is only used to doing 2 team trainings a day, I can't tell you to go out and do a double day every single day, because it's not going to be ready for that and you're not going to be able to handle that. You need to slowly, progressively go up. Go to 3 training days a week, then go to 4, then 5, then 6, then start adding a double day in sometimes. And then you keep on going over the course of a couple years, and then you can start doing double days like every day, and your body's not going to get taxed. I'm not even that sore after a lot of these gym sessions and trainings and all this stuff, because my body has been so adapted to it. What all does your club provide you with? So we get provided with tons of gear, all of our training stuff, like every day, sweatshirts and t-shirts. We get housing, like this whole apartment, and furniture is all provided by the club. We get breakfast and lunch every single day. All of our travel costs are covered. Our electricity and water and gas is all covered by the club. And if we're traveling, we also get like per diem, which just is like money every day to spend on meals when we don't get meals provided to us. Other than that, they provide a great place to play and get better. When do you go to sleep? So I always try to get in 8 hours a night. So if I'm waking up at 7, then I try to go to bed by 11. If I'm waking up at 5, I try to go to bed by, you do the math, like 1 a.m. That's another thing. I think a lot of you guys don't understand that I'm like super sarcastic a lot of the time, because in my last video, I was like, buenos dias. That means what's up, homies? And I got ripped in the comment section like, buenos dias means good morning. I was like, I know, I was just making a joke. Obviously, it was a bad joke. Is there anything you can do to make sure that the protein you're eating reaches your muscles? You don't have to do anything. Protein is used by your body to build muscles. That's it. At a tryout, how should you impress the coach to get on the team? Don't worry about impressing the coach. Go out there and play exactly how you always play. And if you are a good player and the coach likes your style of play, he will recruit you. You never want to change the way you play or change your style based on a coach to impress somebody at a tryout. How did you meet Mimi? Her name is spelled M-I-M-I, Mimi, just in case, you know, for future reference. But we met in college. I went to a party and she was like just standing there, just this really cute blonde girl was like in the middle of the room. So I walked up to her, introduced myself, we started talking, and then I asked her for her phone number, and then a few days later I asked her out on a date, then we went on a date, and we went on another one, and then we just like, you know, after a while we started dating. What were you lifting when you were starting off? As in, how much weight did you lift and how fast did you progress? This is a good question and something I've never been asked before actually. But when I was scrawny, I was so scrawny. When I first started weightlifting, or actually even before I started weightlifting, I did a body weight program for like 2 years, just push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups, like anything I could think of, table rows. And I was just like itching to get in the gym, itching until I was 13, and that was when I could legally start weightlifting at my club. And when I was 13, I had already built up a pretty good base because I'd been body weight training for like 3 years. And so I was scrawny and tiny, but I was still like pretty strong. And so I think the very first day I did like a 5 on each side of the bench press, like a 5-5 and a 45-pound bar, so 65 pounds, 55 pounds, and I was just like, you know, struggling to get 10, but I was just focusing on good form, and then, you know, you slowly go up and up and up. The first time I squatted, I think I was doing 25s on each side, and I definitely wasn't going as low as I should have been going, and but I still was doing like 10 reps. But I mean, if you look at the progress, I was a stick. I was a little tiny, I was like 5'5" and 110 pounds probably. And I progressed, you know, a normal speed. There wasn't anything that I did that was crazy that made me progress and get super athletic very quick. I just stuck with it. When everybody else would go to the gym for like 2 weeks and then get bored or tired and stop going, I just kept doing it. And this, you know, my athletic ability now and how strong I am now is just a result of weightlifting for 11 years straight without taking like any breaks. I've been lifting at least like 2-3 days a week for 11 years straight. Do you wear something to protect your ankles in a game? Nope. If they get hit, they get hit, and it hurts. But I mean, I don't want to have like a big bulky ankle guard or shin guard. My shin guards are tiny. Hi Matt, is it mandatory to drink whey protein when doing lower body strengthening workouts for, you know, like the hamstrings and quads? So just in general, it's not mandatory to drink whey protein at all. You can still build a great physique, you can still build muscle, you can still gain weight without a whey protein supplement. However, it's really hard to beat getting like 25-30 grams of protein by just throwing a scoop in a cup of water and shaking. In an ideal world, you would get all your protein from real healthy foods, chicken, like fish, tilapia, salmon, turkey, eggs. However, it's hard to cook all that food all the time, and it's hard to get really good protein. So supplementing your diet with like 1 scoop or 2 scoops of protein a day is just gonna help you reach your protein goals. Do you get nervous before team training? Maybe if it's like the first team training with a new team, I'll get a little bit nervous, but not really, not now, especially not now. So that's it. I hope you guys liked the video. I hope you guys liked the questions. If you didn't, then too bad. I make the rules. Anyway, if you did like this video, then hit that thumbs up button because you know it helps me out. It helps grow the channel because I'm trying to get to 100,000 subscribers this year. And if I do, I'm gonna do something crazy, I don't know. Anyway, I'm out. Peace out, peace. Also, what do you think of that little promo for the Elite 90? Kind of sick, huh?